Haroon, it's your first fight with Jack in charge as head coach. What are you expecting Saturday night?
I'm expecting a good performance from Jack. We've been working on some things behind the scenes, things that we've been tweaking, not changing too much. You know, I expect a good display of boxing from Jack, and if a stoppage comes, we'll take it.
Obviously, Jack split from Lee Beard, but you were within that camp, so you know it's not exactly a fresh start for him, is it?
Yeah, to be fair, you know, I've been involved with Jack from about 4 years. 4 years coming up now, you know, and I worked closely with Lee Beard, learnt a lot. He took me around a lot of good places, a lot of good people, opened many a door, and I believe it was an apprenticeship well served.
Have you tried to change anything at all? Have you implemented anything? Have you noticed anything?
Yeah, when you're involved with someone and it's their setup, it's you're the assistant. You know, you never cross the line and try and you know, overstep your mark. You know, Lee was been a credit to Jack, and you know, through his career, and he's done great things with him. You know, and I was there in the backgrounds doing my thing, and there was loads of little areas that, you know, I believe that at the time, you know, we could have worked on with Jack, and maybe some of them things may have been not looked at, but you know, that's me now. You know, I've got hold of the steering wheel, and I can start implementing, you know, the things that I believe need to be worked on, which I've been doing.
Can you specify anything? I mean,
there's been a lot. I think if you look at some of Jack's previous fights, and there's times, say against Stalker, you know, you watched him. You know, he moved his feet well at times when he needed to. You know, he'd creep in and out. He'd be smart. And then if you look at him against Joe Hughes, maybe he was a little bit too flat on his feet in the exchanges, and I think if he probably moved his feet a little bit more, he'd have worked around him better. And you know, so you know, I've worked on a lot of agility work with Jack. I've brought in, you know, correct people to work on that. You know, flexibility has been a massive one with Jack. We've worked on there, and you know, we've been working on the core skills of boxing, because if you watch Jack, he's a very, very good boxer, and we know he hits very hard, and sometimes he'll go comfort zone there to overindulge there, where he can use the boxing, open up, and you know, take him apart. But yeah, little tweaks, not too much. You know, the wrong thing for someone to do is to come in and try and change everything, and then, you know what I mean, you don't do that. You know, you work, and it's a steady progression. You know, like we say, it's a marathon. You know, it's not a sprint.
There's no doubt he's got plenty of power at 10 stone, isn't there?
Jack hits very, very hard at 10 stone, as you see. You know, you look at the people he's hit. You know, they've come in with a good fight talk before the fight. They've got hit, and it changes. You know what I mean? And you know, there's been the likes of some of the, you know, is it Calef? You know, he came in with ambition. He got hit, and then he turned it into a ballroom dance. You know, he was trying to win it the wrong way. You know what I mean?
Last few fights have sort of, well, they have gone the distance, but also he's sort of been messed around a little bit, hasn't he? There's been one or two sort of not very clean wins in many respects.
Yeah, that's just boxing, you know, and you know, all Jack can do is perform, and you know, who's put in front of him, you know, and if, you know, there's many a fighter out there that, you know, the great puncher, the great boxer. You get someone in there who he's going to be the pantomime villain, and he's going to hold you, and he's going to try and hit behind the head and get the points off you and frustrate you. And you know, you've got to adapt as a professional to work with them operators and to beat them still.
Now, next man into the ring on Saturday night is Gonzalo Luque. I know you're a great studier of opponents. What have you noticed?
I've watched Luque closely. You know, I've got a nice game plan for Luque. You know, I've watched him. You know, YouTube and the internet. It's a great thing nowadays. You know, you can get to look into fighters, look at them recently, look at them early. You know, and against he boxed a fighter called Catterall. I think Catterall's 16-1-1. He's got the Latino WBO title, and I watched Catterall against him, and Catterall's orthodox, but when he switched southpaw, he caused Luque some problems. You know, he was going flat-footed, and he was squaring up for certain shots. And then I watched him against Martin Coggy, and you know, Coggy took him out in fashion, really, 4 or 5 rounds. You know, so. You know, I watched him there, but then at the same time I watched him against a southpaw who he stopped, you know what I mean, and how he come on strong. So, you know what I mean, I've been studying Luque, and you know, I'll never overlook any opponent regardless of what people say. Oh, it might be another Argentinian, you know, it's a fighter. I'm going to study geek style and you know, find a component for him.
As an opponent, he's only been stopped once, so he must have a fair amount of durability. Expecting a long night?
Yeah, he's durable, and at the same time, you know, he's going to offer himself in places that these other opponents haven't exposed or took advantage of. Really, he's not boxed out of Argentina, has he? You know, a lot of his fights have been there. What caliber of opponent he's been in? You know, he's coming across over here. Pretty much, it's home for Jack. Jack's got the skills to open him up and take him out.